Hey everyone, how are you all? Hope you're good. So this just looks like a big mess, right? So this is our 5th Wednesday this month, and we want to stick to the same schedule of the 1st and the 3rd, not Monday, what am I saying? Wednesday, did I say Wednesday? I can't remember. Anyway, we want to stick to the schedule of the 1st and the 3rd Wednesday of each month, just so people don't get confused. So we've kind of got a bonus week this month because we've got an extra Wednesday. And what Rach and I thought we'd do is not do something new today, but maybe do just an extra week where you can have some time to catch up, or you can do something that you're lagging behind in, as in you might not have done your tag yet, like me. I haven't done my tag, so that's what I think I'll work on today. And then I thought I might do some little snippets as well, some little clusters. I showed you one that I was thinking of, and I did actually stitch a bit of a cluster on one of my pages. Where was it? Oh, I can't remember. It's over here somewhere. I'll find it later. Oh, here, my house page, which I haven't stitched all my houses on yet. Of course I haven't finished. That would be a miracle if I finished something. So I did do a little snippet up there. Might even add a bit more to that. I need to stitch the rest of my houses in and then work out what else I need to add. So that's my plan today, and then Rach will be doing something as well. So what I've got is I've got heaps of like little scraps, little bits of cut-offs. Some bits I've got from lovely friends who have given me bits and pieces, like Vicky. I know I've got some of your bits in here. One of those, not that one, one of those I think was yours. A little snippet of yours. I know I've got some bits of your fabric, and in here I've got some lovely little buttons. That one I think was a Vicky one. That one, I think some of these shell ones were from you, Vicky. I'm not sure which ones. And then I've got some lovely buttons from Pam. Like, look how pretty that is. Where's another Pam button? She's given me some lovely bits. Oh, this little thing. Pam says she thinks it's made out of stone. I think you're right. You can kind of see that. Maybe this one. To show you, she's given me some really fancy buttons. I know that one's definitely one. I pulled out this one. I thought that was really interesting, with maybe some mother of pearl or shell there and the gold backing. What else is from you? I know I've pulled out a few. Oh, this one as well I think was from you, Pam. And then I've got some lovely bits and pieces from Vicky as well. Oh, that one I think was Pam. And I think, Vicky, you gave me some pearl ones like this too. I'm not sure if I'm pulling out the right ones, but bits and pieces. Oh, and I think I've got some of your little initials, Vicky. So I want to play around with little bits and pieces to make my clusters and then do my tag as well. So I've got this, because the tag was meant to be the first month and it was deer. I've got this deer here. This is from one of the Kathy Holden fabrics. This one wasn't a Christmas one, but it's very Christmassy. So somehow I'm going to this old piece of Cantha quilt. Might be a bit crooked that I've cut off, and I want to do some layering up and turn this into a tag. Oh, and then I've got some bits and pieces from Lisa Mattock as well, so like that gorgeous little Santa is from that cute fabric that she has, and bits from Rach. I'm pretty sure you gave me that bit, Rach. So I want to play around, do my tag if I have time. Hopefully it won't take too long, and then I thought I might do a couple of little clusters as well. So lots of scraps of fabric, Suffolk puffs, laces. So I just pulled a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, I like this one. That one would go nicely. What else have I got? Oh, I like this is fabric tape measure. I've only ever found one of these in my Crafty Op shop, and I absolutely love it, because you can stitch it down the side of things. And this was one of the hexies, the little pack of $2 hexies that I haven't showed you yet. I'm talking about it like you've seen it. I did do a little video of bits and pieces that I got from the sewing basket on the weekend. Mum and I went and had a look there. I got that in a pack, $2 pack of stuff. So I'm just playing around with some bits. I want to do a few layers and then work out where, like, my deer would go. I don't want to cover that too much because that's nice. Maybe I'm going a bit crazy here. Just checking, move up on screen a little bit better. Maybe the hexie's a bit too much. Maybe some texture under it. I love this cheesecloth that I tea dyed using Katerina Giglio's tea dye method, which is fun. I think I've posted that before. Nice and grungy. Maybe not the hexie. Okay, just playing around. That's tea dyed as well, using the same method, Katerina. Just super creative. I'm literally just grabbing whatever's right next to me, putting bits on, seeing what I like, going a bit crazy. I think that might have been a Vicky bit. Vicky bit. How does that sound? Vicky? Do you like it? Vicky bits. Maybe Merry Christmas across the top. I think I want to trim the edges so it looks like a tag. So we'll decide. We might decide that later. I'm going with a bit of a grungy. Maybe a few of them. Whoops. Okay. I think a button. Something. We'll work it out. Okay, I think I better stitch down my base layers first. So take all that off. I don't mind quite a lot of the Cantha quilt being covered up on this side because you'll have the lovely red check on the back. I think I like that bit. I think that was off like an old tea towel or something. Any other bits of fabric? No, I think I'm liking the tea dye kind of look with the oh, look at that, like a scrap like that. Put my grungy deer on top. Yeah, I'm going to just stitch that down. I remember my tape measure is going to run up the side. What have I got? I might have to find something to run across the bottom, but it needs to, I think it needs to be, oh, look at this. This was an old piece of lace. I found some really cool old laces that might be nice across the bottom. I'll work it out. Anyway, let's get started with these bottom pieces. I'm just going to Cantha stitch them down. And then we'll see where we go. Okay, where's my other one? This one, it's more a creamy colour, like a coffee colour. Seeing if I've got any that are darker. No, this will do. Gets lighter underneath. Okay, so just a thin old sewing machine cotton. Just roughly pin these in place. Okay. I am going to go ahead and cut my corner off because I don't want to cut through my stitching later on. So just a tip, I just cut on an angle and you get your piece. This is what Rach does. You get your piece and you flip it so that it's then over on this side. I think I'm a little bit crooked there. Just let me trim this down a little bit. That looks a bit better. Okay, so my piece was there. I think I might have even gone in a bit, doesn't matter. It's a handmade tag, it's not going to be perfect. And then you cut your other corner and they should be pretty even. Somewhat even. Okay, I think that's a better shape. I might fray that up a little bit because it'll be too straight now. So just pull a few threads. There we go, make it a bit grungy. Okay, there's my tag shape. Oh, I should have done it to this too. Let me just put this on. Now what I might do is I might stitch that on after and I can cut it on the angle. Oh, actually I should put it down now because I think I want the fabric to go across the top. So let's do that now. You can always keep little bits like this and use it for something else, so I won't throw that away. I'm just going to pin my measuring tape in place as well. Oh, it's a bit hard to get through. It's thick, a tight weave. All right, I can straighten that up after. Okay, so I am ready to stitch. Let me just move a lot of bits everywhere. Let's clear it off a bit. Give me some space. All right, now don't want to see my needle on the back, so I'm going to start on the front. Bet you there's some nice layers of fabric in there. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Just going to pull it through here so it's on the inside. You won't see it. All right, so just let me line this up. All right, so what's been happening this week? Oh, it's just been a busy week. Jamie got cleared of concussion on Monday morning, yeah. No, yes, Monday morning. I was just trying to think what day we're on. It's only Wednesday. So that's good. He was able to get back in the pool today. No, yesterday. I'm getting so confused. So he actually had swimming training before school and then water polo training after school. So straight back into it with probably almost 3 hours in the pool yesterday. Probably would have been 3, maybe even more. So that was good for him. And what else? I finished marking my exam. Happy days. That's over and done with. Boys got their papers back, which is nice. That's their last assessment task. before they go to their final exam, which is called their HSC. So done with that, which is great. All their marks are finalised. And other than that, just been busy this week. A few things going on. Got a charity going on with the house. I'm in charge of a house. I'm called a housemaster, so I'm in charge of it's around 130 boys. Their pastoral care, wellbeing. I think I've told you that before. So I do a lot of charity work. Volunteer at the Salvos. I think I've told you that before as well. And I like to give the boys lots of opportunities to do things for community service and charity. So we are participating in something called September. I don't know if you've got it where you live, but September is where you aim to do 10,000 steps a day. And the goal is to raise money for people living with cerebral palsy. And I have a student whose brother has cerebral palsy. And so we are taking on a charity that is important to him. And I'm trying to get all the boys in my house to participate and encouraging them all to raise some money. So that's what we've started. It actually starts tomorrow, 1st of September, tomorrow. And we've been focused a little bit on that this week. And then we've got quite a few boys signed up already, but I'm definitely aiming for more. So I'll be going around all the groups tomorrow and encouraging them, if they haven't signed up already, to get on it. It's not hard because pretty much just walking around our school, there are so many stairs and it's up and down, and it's a big school with lots of sort of buildings and campuses across two sides of a road that just walking around our school, you quite easily get 10,000 steps. So it's not like they'll be doing anything extra really, because our boys are super active as well. Sports compulsory at my school all the way up until they finish school. In fact, the year 12s who are about to leave on their study time, doesn't look so good on the back. I might cover it. We'll work that out later. So my year 12s that are about to go off on study leave in a few weeks, they only stopped sport just a few weeks ago. So it's not long ago that they stopped. They do, at our school, they do both summer and winter sports. So every boy has 2 sports that they focus on in the year. My sport being rugby, and then my son plays water polo, so I help out. I'm going to be helping out quite a bit with that this year as well. I quite like water polo. It's enjoyable to watch. It's almost like rugby in the pool. It's quite physical. So they don't actually start competition until next term, which is, what would it be? Oh, we have a practice game against one school in a couple of weeks. And then they start proper comp in, what would it be? About 6 weeks, 7 weeks time. Because we have a 2-week holiday coming up. And then they run their comp all the way through term 4 up until the start of December, and then they recommence the comp at the start of February through to pretty much almost to Easter. And then they get a tiny break and they're back into rugby. And then they do this next 6 months after that playing rugby. So pretty busy. My hockey semi. Well, we were doing really well. We were playing a team above us, and you can probably tell by the tone of my voice that we didn't win. At halftime it was 2-2, and we were holding our own and doing well. And then in the last 10 minutes of the game, I don't know what happened. We lost concentration. The game just turned, and I'm the last defender in front of the goalie, and it was just a wave of players, especially 2 very good players, that came up against me. I was just like piggy in the middle. They'd come near to me before I could get close enough to tackle. They'd pass the ball to the other person. My players their marking just lost it. They weren't marking properly, letting their players run. And they scored, no joke, 4 goals in 10 minutes, which is unbelievable. So we ended up losing, which wasn't good, but I would say almost 90%, 80% of the game maybe was completely even until that last 10 minutes. Anyway, so I'm not at hockey training tonight. I don't have any more training. We're off. for, I think it's about 6 weeks, and then I'll start summer hockey, which is on Wednesday nights. So I'll have games every Wednesday night leading up until December, almost right up until Christmas, which is good because, I mean, it is a break though. We do tend to lose your match fitness in that time. 6 weeks is a long time off. So it kind of goes. But my other club team, they won their semis, so they're into the They were second in their pool and they beat first, which was great. And when you do that, you go straight through the grand final, and then the team that loses gets a second chance. And they have to play this weekend to get back into that final. So great for our other team. Now, I think I'm going to pause the video now. That's enough chatting. And just get my little stitching done on all of this, and then I'll come back and do further embellishments. Okay, so I'm back. I've stitched down my little bits of fabric, my measuring tape, and I stitched this piece of lace to hang off the bottom. It's like a doubled layered lace. It's an old one. So what I need to do now is get my little deer on top. I'm just positioning him where I want him. I'm going to, yep, that's good. Get my grungy, get him there, maybe. Yep, like that. And now all I'm going to do with this is just stitch around the edge using just the pale cotton, and then I'm just going to stitch those flowers across the bottom and decide if I'm going to do any other embellishing up here. Okay, so pin him in place. Now my back is messy. What I'm going to do is I think I might embroider a letter to Santa on maybe, like, not this, but maybe some old linen, and then I'll stitch it down on the back, and it will actually make my tag a bit stiffer because it is quite floppy. But I'll embroider that letter later because it will take a while, either a letter or a Christmas card message or something like that. So I'm not worried where my threads are going on the back. Now I'm not worried about the messiness. I originally tried to sort of hide knots and stuff, but I'm not going to bother because I will have something stitched down. Okay. So I'm just going to do a little whip stitch or overcast stitch around the outside to hold it down. I don't want to go too close to the edge because my fabric will fray if I do that. You know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm going to do it in a different colour. My son's laughing at me for changing my mind. Okay, I don't want the white. I want to do it in a different colour. Just leave that under there. Change it. So what will I do? I think I'm going with the red and grungy look, so maybe red. I've got this red. Vicky, did you give me this one? No, you gave me this green. The green's nice. Ooh, maybe I want the green. Maybe I want the green so I get some contrast. Vicky, you gave me this one. Perfect green. So I'm going to use this one. It's almost like a little bit lighter than the green that's on that piece of fabric there. Little grungy piece of fabric. I think that was a fabric from Debbie. Oh, and Debbie, I got your lovely box of goodies today. I might show that on camera. Debbie from Doll's House Vintage put up some lovely boxes the other day with some bits of cantha quilt and some felted wool and things like that. And I couldn't resist, I had to buy one. I love Debbie's stuff, you know that. I've shown you Debbie's stuff before. I'll just show you the box. The way she presents is amazing. It just looks fantastic. Okay, so I'll do a couple of stitches just to show you. So I'm just coming probably 3 mils in and then over the edge. And this one is actually overcast because it's a straight stitch, whereas if I did a whip stitch it would be a bit more angular. And I'm going to go around the whole thing, which will hold it in place. Okay, so I'll do a few stitches and show you up close so you can see. And then I'll turn off the camera and I'll come back once it's done. All right, so let me just come up close. You can't see too well, let me focus. There we go. A few threads caught in there. You just see those little tiny stitches. So that's what I'll do the whole way around. Okay, so I'll come back once that's done. Okay, so all stitched down, I'm ready to go. So now I'm stitching these little flowers across the bottom. All right, so just with my creamy colored thread, capture it a little bit to hold it in place. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just come through that, whoops, in the middle. Little layers of fabric there, and then through the little flower trim as well. Okay, so got it in place again. And I'm going to do that in each. Not all these petals because I don't mind these flopping up, just one on opposite sides like this one here. And then through the opposite petal. And it should be enough to hold it all down. I think I need to tea dye some more laces I like and trims. I like the way these came out, so I'll just show you. That was how it originally was, and then that's the tea dye. I don't want everything tea dye. I do like to use whiter bits and pieces at times. So I like to have some variety, but it's good to have some tea dye, and it definitely gives me the grungy look that I'm going for in my Christmas journal. Okay, and then just one more petal. Okay, so that's in place. All right, so I'm just going to do a couple of knots here. I might work on my little note to Santa for the back on the weekend. That'll take a while to embroider. I might even see if I can find an old Santa letter that my son wrote. I'm sure I've got some somewhere, maybe. I might have kept some. I think I even have an old letter to Santa that my younger brother wrote, and he's like 43 now, so that's old. Then I thought what I would do is to finish this tag off, I want to fold that over there, and I'm going to stitch that down. And then I like this coloured, I think it's seam binding. Is that what this is? Not seam binding? I don't know. What's this stuff that people dye? I don't know, but I like that colour because it goes with that and the thread. And I thought I'll even it out a bit better, but I thought I'd just have that at the back. And then once I put my other piece in, it'll be sandwiched in the middle, so it'll be secure, and you can, pull the tag by that. So let's start with this little piece. So what's everyone doing this weekend? What are we doing? Friday night's going to be very exciting. So we've just had a brand new stadium, our local stadium. It's where the rugby league team that we follow, called the Roosters, it's their home ground, and we're Roosters members. And they are playing in the stadium on Friday night. It's the first game in the stadium. They had sort of an open to the public where you could go and have a look last weekend, but this game will be the first game that's actually played on the ground. So we've got that Friday night, and Jamie and what have you got about? Thanks, Jamie. It's almost 40 drummers from our school, including Jamie on his big bass drum, playing at the game. So he leaves school at about lunchtime on Friday. They go to the stadium. They've got to do a sort of dress rehearsal. And then they've got these tunes. So it's just drummers, like a drum line, I guess, playing. So that's exciting for him, playing at the new stadium. And then because we've got tickets, because we're members, he already goes with school. So I'm taking my little 4-year-old nephew, Teddy, to the game on Friday night, so that will be exciting. And also, not only is Jamie playing, but his cousin is playing as well. He plays a different type of drum. He's in the year below Jamie. So the two of them will have a great time, I think. And it's a big grudge match for us because it's for Australian people. Well, one's in New South Wales, Queensland, maybe Victoria. You would know rugby league and the Roosters and the Rabbitohs. We are a local clash, our biggest rivals, because the Rabbitohs are based not too far from us. In fact, they tried to also claim the ground or get access to the ground as their home ground, but I don't think it's happening. It is the Roosters' home ground, always has been, and they weren't able, I don't think, successfully to get that ground. So it's a big clash. It's heavy hitting, lots of action. It'll be an intense game, and it always is, and we usually play the Rabbitohs on the last round of each competition season. And basically the top 8 teams go through the finals. They're both securely in the top 8. The Roosters are 6th. I think they have a chance to get into the top 4, which is good because if you're top 4, you get more of a chance to go through finals. The finals are a little bit complex the way they work, with 8 teams going through. And then if you're in the bottom 4, you can get knocked out more easily. The Rabbitohs are, I think, 1 spot below us. I think they might be in 7th. So I don't think they can get into 4th, but I think we can. So if we win it, we can get into 4th. The only problem is we lost a couple of key players, one to concussion last weekend, really major hit on the head. He hit his head on the hip of someone, so we've lost him. And then one of our really good wingers is out. Hopefully not for too long. He went on the field last week and came off very quickly with, it looks like, a groin strain, which hopefully won't have him out too soon. They might even be resting him ready for the next round. So that's Friday night. Saturday, Jamie will have sort of an internal water polo trial that the boys will probably play each other in our school pool, so that the coaches can start sorting them out into teams. Jamie is hoping to make the thirds. I think he has a good shot. He played fourths last year and got most improved in the fourths, and he did get a little bit of time in the thirds. You got named in a couple. He's shaking his head. Yes, you got named in a couple of games. And so that's Saturday. Good that he can actually get back to water polo after his concussion. And what else do we have on Saturday? Is there anything else? No, I think Saturday's free after that. And then, which is unusual to be free so quickly. And then Sunday is Father's Day. Is it the same around the world? Do you have it on the same day? Ours is Sunday. So Sunday morning, we're going to have brekkie with Jamie's dad, Revy. His name's Sir Revy, but we call him, well, I call him Revy. We're going to have brekkie at a lovely restaurant in Double Bay. They make Bill's. We're going to Bill's. Jamie can have the ricotta hot cakes, which no, maybe. He's thinking about it. He's giving me nods and then no's. And then, they make the best scrambled eggs. Like, they are the creamiest, most delicious scrambled eggs ever. So I will probably have them. And you have to have Vegemite on your toast with your eggs. It's just a given. Vegemite is the best. I'm an Aussie kid. I would have it just about every day. I love Vegemite on toast. Vegemite and cheese sandwiches. Jamie likes them. Vegemite on toast with avocado is the best. Rach loves Vegemite too. Rach, if you run out of veggie, do I need to send you some more? And I will be having the scrambled eggs with Vegemite. Nothing better. So that will be Sunday morning. Sunday day, I think we're pretty free. And then Sunday, we're having an early dinner with Dad for Father's Day with Dad. So two sort of family get-togethers, one with Revy and then one with my dad, Grandpa, Jamie's grandpa. So unfortunately, Rach, not there, but we will have you here soon at Christmas time. And we'll have lots of big family things going on. So yeah, busy weekend, but not too intense like it normally is, and no hockey for me on Sunday. It'll feel weird not playing hockey on Sunday. I'll have to get used to it. All right, so I'm just doing a little running stitch just to secure. Whoops, just got to capture a bit of that trim underneath to make sure it's secure. Okay, and then just to finish off, run it under a bit of fabric. I finish off randomly. Rach, when she does it, I think I've said this before, she does this and then she loops through. You can do that. You can totally do that. It's probably even more secure. I just go through under a little tiny snip of fabric or under some threads a few times, and I've never had an issue with anything coming unraveled. All right. So there's my tag. Okay, with the back to be finished. So I'll just lift it up so you can see it. Sorry, my camera's a bit crooked. See? It's sagging. I think I need a new iPad holder. iPad holder. Not an iPod. Who has an iPod nowadays? Not me. All right, so there's my little reindeer tag. It actually worked out better than I was expecting. I was having trouble coming up with an idea, but I'm actually quite happy with that. Oh, the other thing actually I thought I might do, I might put one of these lovely buttons. Will I, won't I? I really love that one. I'm going to use it somewhere. I might use it on one of my clusters. Do I want a button? Maybe I don't. I really like the bell too. Red bell. Who did I get this from? Vicky, did you give me the red bell? I think you might have. I know I got it from someone. I think it was Vicky. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to leave that for now. Tag done. Let's have a look at a cluster or two. So this is the first one that I threw together. And although it's, look, I've got the same fabric. Love that fabric. Deb, that's yours, isn't it? Love it. Look at the scrappiness of it. And I literally, when I was talking about what clusters were, I was just throwing this together. You probably recall, and I like the way it kind of looked. So it's just a scrappy piece of lace. It doesn't matter how you do it. I might put that a bit more that way so you can see it. Pink's not really Christmas, but it will be fine. And then I was going to sew, this is a flower from Debbie. And then I was thinking of putting the Christmas tree somewhere, but I don't know about the Christmas tree yet. I'm not sure that it matches. So I'm going to just pin these together. This is going to be very, very simple, because what you will eventually do is you get this little cluster and you'll stitch it down onto a page. So, you know, I might even do cantha stitching all over it. Just play around with it a bit more. I don't want to lose all that lovely fabric in the background. Maybe I want that a bit more like. You can see a little bit there. Pin it again. And just pin it down. So it's hard for me not to want to do cantha stitching all over it, but what I think I might do is I'm just going to stitch over the lace to hold it in place, and by doing that the fabric's going to be held in place as well. Okay, let's pop that. And where was that going to go? That was going to, oh, I might, let me just see something. Oh, better put the lace that way, it's better. And then I think I'm going to put the flower there. I'm just going to flip it. All right, so literally, the back doesn't matter because you won't see it. I'm just going to randomly do little stitches over the lace to hold it all together. So this is a little cluster of scraps of fabric that were just lying on the side of my table, scraps of offcuts of lace. So if you have a look, these are all just bits and pieces that are just on the side of the table. Some are bigger, just bits, snippets, little hexies, trims from Rach. I was going to put Santa on one of them. I'll probably cut Santa out a bit better. Little offcuts that I will be able to just play around with them, lay them up and make some more little snippets. And then if you have a little collection of snippets, when you're doing your pages, you can go into your little snippet bundle and see which one might work. You might want to use it on a page, you might not, it doesn't matter. As Rach did, I think she turned her little snippets into tags. She can, not tags, sorry, tabs on the edge of the page. That looks quite good coming off the edge of a page. So you might even just want to grab some of your scraps and make some snippets and just have them in a little container or a tin, and then you've got something to sort of jazz up a corner of a page. Like, say for example, this page here, once I've got my houses on, I might think, oh, it's a bit boring up here, I'm going to put another snippet. So you can just jazz it up, make some larger ones, make some smaller ones that you can use randomly. All right, I'm going to pause again, stitch this down, and I'll come back and I might make one more, and then that's going to be it for tonight. Okay, I'll be back soon. All right, so that's all stitched down. Just looking at these buttons. They're quite cool. They've got green and red on the back. That one's a bit different. Let me have a look at what, oh, I really like this one. That's a really pretty one. I'm going to use that one. I think that's a button from Pam, and maybe you gave me that one as well, Pam. You give me all these really pretty ones. And then maybe just a plain little one. I'm just going to sew a little cluster. So you can just, yeah, play around with whatever you want on these. I want to put some bells on some of them as well. Not this one, but other ones. I'm going to use an old Perle cotton. That's actually, it's got different kind of greens going through. There's some faded green on the outside. Don't know if you can see it. Actually looks all the same on camera, but it's actually quite faded there and then darker there. I think it's just an old thread. The inside is the normal colour that it should be, and then the outside is faded. So I like that kind of vintagey look. Just trying to thread my needle. Hang on a sec. There we go. And I'm going to sew on my 3 buttons. I was going to do my Christmas tree, but I can't quite work out where I want it to go. I've got a few of the charms. That's a pretty one, Little Angel. I use that on another cluster. I mean, even this cluster is not even that Christmassy. If I don't use it on one of my Christmas pages, I could use it on something else. Okay, so let's stitch down these buttons. This one is so pretty. It's really delicate. Now I want to do a few stitches just so you can see the green thread stand out. Three, I think, will be enough. And I'm doing clusters of 3 buttons, because as you know I like my odd numbers. It aesthetically, I think, looks better than doing everything even. Sometimes even's okay. I did even with my Suffolk puffs across the bottom of my block last week. There's 6 across the bottom. But when I do little clusters of buttons, I like to do groups of 3 rather than 2 or 4. Okay, and this last little one. You could even do a little bit of beading or sequencing, like a little bit of embroidery on these would look good. You can stitch with metallic thread to highlight a few bits and pieces. You could put a fabric flower on, like print it on the fabric and then do some of the painting with thread. So there's lots of different things you could do with little snippets or clusters. All right, so just finish that off on the back. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay out one more, play around with a few more bits, but I'm not going to stitch it down because I think I've done enough for this video. It's going to be too long, and I also probably want to go to bed soon, so they would look nice together. I really like my tag. It's turned out better than I was expecting. Still deciding if I want a button on it. It's kind of cool. That would sit off a bit because it's got the little thing. It'd be a bit floppy. I like this one that you gave me, Pam. Yeah, I think I like that. I might stitch that down this time with perlé thread, but red. So these are all old ones that I get. I've got a lot of new ones of these, but I love all these old ones. You can get great colours. And they don't cost me much at my, oh, I've got a needle threaded up in that already. I'm going to use this. So it's a bit tangled. You know, I can get it quite cheaply at my sewing basket store. So I've had an idea for the sewing basket store. They, the lady there, she's really sweet and she's got to know us pretty well. You know, I went in there with Mum on the weekend and I always chat to her, and she's come to learn about what slow stitching is because she's always asked what I do and what Mum does, and we've told her, and I think she might have even had a little look at our stuff online. I don't know if she's following us, but she's had a look. And she said, it's quite funny, a few people come in and they do, they have mentioned us. So hi for anyone that's been in there to the sewing basket. Fabulous, fabulous store, we all know that. Or fabulous stores, because they've got 4 of them. But the one I'm talking about is their original sort of big one at Newington. And they made up some slow stitch kits, and they're really good in terms of they've put some good bits and pieces in, and they're only selling them for $5. They're cheap. They're not massively full of a million things, but there's a decent amount there, and $5 is actually cheap. But every time I look at them, it's not quite my taste. So it's more, I guess, more modern stuff and newer stuff, whereas I'm looking for older stuff or reproduction of older stuff. So that's like old ephemera that's printed on fabric. So it's not quite my taste. I kind of feel bad because she always tells me, oh, the slow stitch kits are at the back, go have a look. But I never particularly want one. Like, she's doing a great job. Don't get me wrong, I think she's doing a great job. But what I thought I might do, I have offered to her, which I think she'd love me to do, but I'd have to talk to their, Vicky, I'm going to put your little label there. I'd have to talk to their manager, is I thought I might, I'll make up some samples of slow stitch kits out of the stuff I've bought in their store, because I've got so much from their store. Just to give them an idea of how to sort of make them look good and what's good stuff to put in. And then I also thought maybe, and I said to Mum, you should do this too, Mum. Maybe we should make them a couple of samples of what slow stitching is, so they can have actual samples above the little basket of slow stitch kits, and then people know what it's all about. And when you see something done, it makes you want to do it. So that's what I've kind of been thinking. You know, I've got holidays coming up in a few weeks' time, 4 weeks' time, I think it is, 3 or 4. So maybe I'll do that. I've you know, put a couple of kits together so they get an idea, and some samples. I did say to the lady, like in the holidays, I'm even happy to go in for a day and make some kits for them out of their stock. Just find random bits around the store and put stuff together. And she would really like me to do that, but I have to talk to the person who's in charge, and so she's given me her number. So that's something I might do for them. I was just trying to brainstorm ideas of things you could do in the store to help them sell stuff. And of course, if I do anything, anyone in Sydney, I will let you know, and you can go and check it out. And it's super cheap there. They really don't charge much at all. There you go, Vicky. You're on my tag. And Pam, you're on my tag too. And anyone else on my tag? No. Oh, Debbie's on my tag. Debbie's on my tag. That's Debbie Fabric. Katarina Inspired Tea Dyeing's on my tag. And this, actually, you might not know, a person called Pam Garrison, who's super creative. I got that when I bought something from her that was in her package. So that's what I like about these journals, is you can add bits and pieces that you've got from people. I've got some, Beth, I've got your lovely stuff too. I haven't gone into that. I mean, I've gone through it, but I haven't used it yet. I'm going to have to use some of your lovely Christmas fabrics that you gave me. yes, there's lots of lovely people who have shared things. And I will have Lisa on some snippets as well. All right, so tag I think is done for the front. Now let's quickly, because it is getting late and I need to put my video up, just looking at what scraps I've got. I like this red, lovely red check. I might, hello Bobby, meow. She's having a whinge, she's hungry. That's quite thin fabric, so I might even just have a little, do a little base of white calico. Just give it something stronger to stitch down onto. That will get covered, you won't see it. All right, so let me look. Hi Bobby. That is a piece of my old quilt cover that I did put in a few people's sew stitch kits. Oh, I love this. This is a little piece from an old quilt. Look how it used to be much brighter and it's really faded. Where I've got another bit somewhere. Where is it? Here. Might use the faded bit. I like the faded bit. So just throwing down a few bits of fabric. And then need a little bit of trim. That's pretty. Pretty lacy. Oh, I mind a Suffolk puff. So you see, you just play around with bits and pieces. Like I've just got all random things in front of me and I'm pulling bits out. There's our little bobbly trim, this little trim. The thread's stuck on it. Got this from the sewing basket. I might, so there's a loose thread there. Snip it off. I might put a piece of bobbly trim across that. And then put a bell, put a cute little, that's a cute button. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. I might stitch that together. Leave it here where you can see it. Okay, maybe we'll try one more. Where's my little bit of calico that I just ripped up? Here it is. Here's the other piece. Start with that because this is quite thin again. Maybe I won't go with that because I already did colour tones like that. Do something brighter. I love ticking. Let's do a blue toned one. So many bits in front of me. Give me something else blue that will go with that little bit. I need, I feel like I need a bit of, oh, that's a nice, that's when I dyed that one. I feel like I need a bit of shibori dye fabric, so I can't see any near me at the moment. I might put another piece under there, like a navy piece, and then you could use, these are bits of dyed lace. Okay, we could do a navy or a blue cluster. What else do I want to add? I don't know, it's becoming a mess. A little flower. Do a big button. It's your button, Vicky. I will use that on something. Don't know. I'll keep playing around with them. But anyway, this is what you do with clusters. You just play around with bits, layer them up, and then you can stitch them down. Got a nice bit of, this is an old piece of sheet. I wouldn't mind using the hexie, so I might give myself a background for that. And little bit of, there's a good little bit of background I can put on, some white and red. Maybe put a bit of hexie on. I've got some scrappy red lace that I could put on somewhere. So get some different sort of colours going. There's a scrap of red fabric. like it when stuff's ripped. Get a ripped effect. Do I have, I was just looking for, where is it? I've got a blue flower, I don't want blue, I was looking for a white flower here, this one. Ugh, I'm all tangled up in threads. This one might take the red bell, or that one, your Vicky, your little button might go on there. Anyway, just playing around with ideas. Santa could fit quite nicely on that one too. Anyway, they're just a few ideas. I will play around with them more and stitch some more down. And but hopefully you get the idea of what you can do a bit more. If you haven't done many clusters, you might want to make a few more. Grab your scrappy bits and pieces, or even just have like a bowl and just keep throwing your scraps in there, etc. and have fun playing. All right, thanks for watching. It's a long video, but I will see you again soon. Bye. Okay, just a very quick bonus video for you at the end. This is Juju's update on her block. So this is her winter Christmas village. It's a Christmas village that Mum's done. Just letting you have a full look at that, and I'll bring it up closer to the camera so you can see some of the details. A lot of this is just done in plain cotton fabrics and also felted wools, and maybe she's even got some felt on there, I think, some of the trees. So I'll show you some of the details, and a cute little snowman with a fluffy fuzzy scarf. So Mum's just cut out her house shapes in different cottons, and then she's just stitched them down with a little tacking stitch or a little running stitch. She's done some embroidery. You can see there on her trees some lovely little embroidery and French knots, and she has some sequins, which are her Christmas decorations. On her church, she's got a sweet little gold bell. I'm not sure what that would be, but it looks good. And some stars that I think Mum's glued them. Mum, did you glue them? That's cheating. Anyway, and then look at this cute little snowman that she's done. And that is the tiniest wreath on the door that Mum's done. So just a quick look at this page, and then I'm just going to flip through and just show you a little bit of the other pages, because she has done a bit more work on some of them. Some of them are the same. I think that deer page is pretty much the same. But on her tree page, she's still working on it. She has her little cluster up the top, and she's added a little beaded charm, which is sweet. She's going to do some stitching that will go up in the corner there, and then she's put some things under her tree. So she's done a sweet little gingerbread man in a stocking, a teddy bear, a ball, and she's been working on some presents with gold bows and things like that. So I think that's just about all that Mum's done that's extra. Her wreath page, I'm pretty sure, is the same. And then has she done a bit? I think she might have done a bit more work on this. There's a little cluster up there, and then that page she hasn't done any more on. So that's where Mum's at. I hope you enjoyed seeing a snippet of what she's done, and I will see you again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.